Okay, so the first tool that I'd like to discuss is called Find and Select. Find and Select is a way to search and highlight or search and select items in your ArchiCAD file or what is built in the grid, and to have ArchiCAD find and select them in green so that you can either delete it or edit it or move it or rotate it and so forth. The reason this is helpful is that sometimes when you're working in a very big file or even a single dwelling house, which is in itself quite a complicated project in ArchiCAD, you may need to find things that you can't immediately locate or may be difficult to locate many items of the same thing. The best example would be, for example, steel columns or any sort of item which can be tracked by a particular characteristic of that element. So if, for example, the engineer came back to you and said, look, Michelle, you really need to change all the columns that you have in your project from 300 millimeter diameter to at least 450 millimeter diameter, because I've worked out the loadings on this building and the columns that you've used in your initial design are much too slender. So in that sort of circumstance, I may have many columns that are 300 mil diameter that I'd want to locate in my ArchiCAD file and then select them and then change those columns from a diameter of 300 mil to 450. Now, without the Find and Select tool, it can be a very difficult process to find and shift click or shift highlight each of those columns. And you may forget a few, you may not be able to find some, and in that circumstance, you've lost maybe 15 to 20 minutes trying to locate these columns so that you can change them. Or even if you're trying to change them one by one, that is even more time consuming. So this Find and Select will then allow me to select all the 300 mil columns. So to continue with this example, the best thing I'll do is I'll just put in a variety of different columns in, just as a hypothetical example, to represent the concept that I'm talking about. So if I put in a, say, 500 mil high column, this is just an example, remember, with a 300 mil diameter, actually, let's make this 5,000. And then just press OK, and I just plonk one here. Okay, so that's my 300 mil. So that's my 300 mil column. Okay. Then I might go back into the column tool and I might choose 600 and then go OK, and I'll plonk that one down there. And then I'll use the text tool again and put 600 just to label these so that you can see how the Find and Select tool will work. Then I might I might Control Shift D a few of these. Oops. Might copy, so remember, right mouse click, move, drag a copy. So I might put one there and then, right mouse click, drag a copy, and then another one, say, here. Okay, and then I might do the same for 600 and move. Remember, the shortcut key is Control Shift D. Okay, and what I'd like to do is use the Find and Select tool to demonstrate that I only want to select the 300 columns, 300 mil diameter columns, and not these 600 mil diameter columns. So, sorry, I brought up my screen. It's Control F is the shortcut key for Find and Select. So you press Control F and it brings up this little screen. So this screen is, if you've ever used Excel, it's like a filter in Excel. So what the first criteria is an overarching criteria which is at its broadest search category, which means that you choose the element type which relates to what elements are in your toolbox. Okay, so my mouse is just indicating that these are the elements in your toolbox. And so you choose what type of element it is. And in this case, it's a column. Now, if I were to press the plus key now, it's going to select for me all the columns that are in my ArchiCAD file. Now, that's not the outcome that I want, because I want only Archicad to select the 300 mil diameter columns and not also these 600 mil diameter columns. Okay, so I'm just going to press the minus key to deselect. Basically what needs to happen next is you need to add a criteria by which to search that narrows down the characteristics of what you want to search for, which in this case is that its width is equal to 300 mil. And if you then press the plus key, hang on, let's see, the width, oh, it's not working, hang on. Yeah, sorry, diameter. Okay, so diameter, yeah, sorry, not width, diameter. Diameter is, sorry, I'll just do that again. So add that the diameter is equal to 300 and then press the plus key. Okay, so there you go. What you now see is that when you press the plus key, only the columns that have a 300 mil diameter are selected.